Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Oh geez, Fargo's back.
Yes.
Season 3, episode 1, The Law of Vacant Places. You were just telling me you are a native of Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
I was born in Eden Prairie. I don't remember much because we left for Florida when I was 2, but I do remember that on January 9th, 1981, it was negative 40 degrees with the wind chill factor.
My only connection to it is that's where they filmed the original Mystery Science Theater 3000, the TV show. They're like the Best Brains office park thing where that was happening was in Eden Prairie.
All the best things come out of Eden Prairie.
I guess so. So you know, it's interesting to watch how this show is. You know, the stories are different, but they kind of keep this sort of thematic and tonal consistency from season to season. So this is the most, well, no, I take it back. The season 1 was modern. This is like a few years back. But you know, I was thinking about it this morning. It all kind of boils down to like bad people, worse people, and good cops.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like regular kind of like people doing bad things and screwing it up. That's the thing.
Making matters worse.
Yeah, it's like this whole idea that there's this mentality in the Midwest of people just kind of bumbling along, and yeah. But that's what I love about it, and that's and that's kind of the central of the original film.
Well, sure, yeah, exactly. I mean, and so yeah, it's always it's somebody who is like trying to cut a corner or take a shortcut or do something, and yeah, it goes far out of control. Bodies start stacking up, and there's we need one good, usually female cop, but not always, to sort of clean everything up. Is Michael Stuhlbarg the first Coen Brothers alum to be in one of these seasons?
I think so. So I didn't. I came to Fargo last season 2.
Oh, okay.
So and then I only recently watched season 1. So I think and it's been a hot second since I saw the movie. But yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, IMDb or the comments will tell us.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you have never seen A Serious Man, it's one of my favorites of theirs. So all right, so we have Ewan McGregor as the Stussy twins.
Oh my God, I didn't even recognize him. They did such a fantastic job. Holy cow.
So it's Emmit and Ray.
Ray, yeah.
So Emmit seems to be some sort of local, power broker type.
He's the king of parking lots, man. He's the parking lot king. He apparently, I guess, I'm assuming he owns the parking lots, kind of like Joe's parking lot out here in LA. You see them everywhere.
Oh, gotcha. So he's the Joe. And so so they have kind of a Jacob and Esau thing, where like Esau was sold his birthright for a plate of beans, and apparently Ray foolishly took the Corvette over the stamps, and
look at how well that car sold.
Still regretting it. So now he's trying to hit up Emmit for money so that he can buy a wedding ring for his shifty girlfriend.
That he met in prison.
Well, no, in parole.
Parole,
yeah, because he's a parole officer, she's a client. They're not supposed to be in a relationship, but oh well. True love and bridge wait for no man.
I love the competitive world of bridge
contract
playing.
Bridge.
Like I didn't realize this was a thing.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh my God!
That's Omar Sharif's other career after acting was like contract bridge.
I'm like I know about poker. I know about.
Yeah, I don't know that bridge makes it onto ESPN ever, but I was gonna say there's a seedy underbelly that we've never seen before. But and again, this show kind of I think it would be so easy for this show to get really condescending about its subject and its people, but it rides this fine line where it sort of acknowledges the absurdity without just being like, Midwesterners.
Yeah, no, I've never once felt that they're making fun of Midwesterners. I think they're taking a trope and playing with it. Yeah. And in many ways, they'll sometimes subvert it. But it's again, I can't really talk to a lot since I basically grew up in Florida, and but my mom is from the Midwest. She's from Michigan originally, but my mom's nothing like any of the characters on that. So, but yeah, it's interesting. I love it. I always love how they play with the themes, and it is a common theme. But always it's something like we have to have that brutal death.
Yes.
And I was very excited at the end. With the goodbye forever, and pushes AC unit out, and that was just that was such a Coen brothers moment right there.
Yeah, totally. And Scoot McNairy is he's a name, he's a face, somebody so to polish him off in episode 1, that's a nice little Janet Leigh, Drew Barrymore bit of stunt casting.
So good.
So yeah, and then our good cop this season is the great Carrie Coon, who was also killing it on Leftovers. So she's having a moment. And yeah, so it'll be. They're obviously playing out. We've seen. Obviously, our season 1 cop, is Alison Lohman, and then season 2 we see her as a child and her relationship with her father, the cop, and so now we have a mom cop with a son, and they seem to be.
Yeah, it makes me wonder who, but there always seems to be a connection between each season, so I wonder what little crossover.
I'm sure there will be Easter eggs scattered throughout, but yeah, obviously this takes place well after the events of season 2, but a few years before season 1.
In a different part of Minnesota. Too.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Where do they say? I know. Well, Eden Prairie, obviously.
Well, Eden Prairie is where Emmit lives, but Eden. So most of it's going to probably take place in Eden Lake, I think, or
Valley.
Eden Valley, which is actually about an hour and a half away from Eden Prairie.
Okay.
So that's going to be more to the west and north.
Well, I mean, Eden Prairie, correct me if I'm wrong, is sort of it's on the outskirts of the Twin Cities, right?
It's actually a suburb of Minneapolis.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it's Eden Prairie and Edina and that whole area is that's all part of. So you've got St. Cloud, you got Minneapolis, and then St. Cloud, Minneapolis, St. Cloud, and then Eden Valley is kind of up over here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so clearly we've got this is going to be a season of Ray trying to dig himself out of having sent Scoot McNairy to do this crime, and things will get much worse, obviously.
I know, and then we've got this twist of this strange American British investor.
Oh, right, yes, David Thewlis, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's obviously some sort of crazy money laundering thing. We'll have the investigation into Carrie Coon's dad. Let's talk about the intro, because last season 2, you'll recall, had that whole weird thing with the UFOs and the old Ronald Reagan Western or whatever.
Yeah.
So now, for some reason, we have an interrogation in East Berlin where somebody has lives in the apartment of the guy they're accusing, and they've just in a Kafka Brazil sort of way. So I don't know if that has to do with the randomness of Carrie Coon's dad having the same last name as the Stussys, or if there's some other connections going to come into play.
I think it's also really interesting because they always talk about this is a true story.
Which it never is.
It never is. But then how that
this is a story.
Yeah, but this is a true story. And then they say how the innocent, how their names have been changed to protect them, but then the guilty are named. And I found the intro this time to be a very interesting parallel where you've got 2 different stories being told. You have the story of the innocent man being accused by the state, and then you have the state of or Berlin, the Berlin cops saying, no, this is the truth. You have to believe it. So I found it a really interesting parallel to the whole overarching narrative of how Fargo runs itself. That they impose what the truth is.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's. I had not considered that.
That's me just being, I know, I just took it to a whole new level. But I also found it was an interesting parallel to another Coen brothers work that you mentioned earlier.
Serious Man?
Yeah, Serious Man. So if you go back and watch the intro to that.
Because of the, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so plenty to unpack here. I think we've got another great season ahead of us. So come back and join us for the rest of the season. Thanks for watching.